You see, my dear friends, the world of manifestation, that is the world of physical activity, is not the primary reality. It is, in fact, secondary to the world of imagination. Your imagination is the very workshop of creation, the place where all things begin. It is the source from which all that is made flows forth into being. And it is through the power of your imagination, harnessed and directed through visualization, that you can shape your reality to match your deepest desires. Now, I know that for many of you, this may seem like a radical concept. You have been taught from childhood that the world is a fixed, unyielding place, and that your role in it is largely that of a passive observer, subject to forces beyond your control. But I am here to tell you that nothing could be further from the truth. You are not a mere spectator in the grand theater of life, but its author, director, and star performer all rolled into one. The technique I am about to share with you is not new. It is old as consciousness itself. It has been used by the great mystics, sages, and creators throughout history. It is the very method by which the universe itself came into being. And yet, for all its power and antiquity, it remains largely unknown or misunderstood by the vast majority of people. This technique is based on a simple yet profound principle. That which you hold in your imagination with feeling and conviction must, by the very laws of creation, manifest in your physical experience. It is not a matter of if, but when. The only variable is the intensity of your belief and the clarity of your vision. Let us begin by understanding the nature of imagination itself. Your imagination is not, as many believe, a frivolous faculty useful only for daydreaming or entertaining idleness. It is, in fact, the very essence of your being. It is the God power within you, the creative force that shapes worlds. When you imagine, you are literally tapping into the same power that brings galaxies into being and sustains the big fabric of existence. But here's the crucial point. Your imagination operates unceasingly, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. Every moment of every day, you are using this God power to create your reality. The question is not whether you are using your imagination, but how you are using it. Are you using it consciously with purpose and direction, or are you allowing it to run wild, reflecting and magnifying your fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs? The technique I am about to share with you will enable you to harness this power consciously and deliberately. It will allow you to direct the full force of your creative imagination towards the realization of your desires. And make no mistake, my friends, when applied correctly and consistently, this technique never fails. It cannot fail, for it is based on the fundamental laws of creation itself. Now let us delve into the heart of this technique. The first step is to clearly what it is you wish to experience. This may seem obvious, but it is a step that many overlook or rush through. You must be absolutely clear about what you want. Vague wishes or general hopes will not suffice. You must be specific and detailed in your desire. Once you have clearly defined your desire, the next step is to create a scene in your imagination that implies the fulfillment of this desire. This is where many people falter, for they focus on the process of achieving their desire rather than the end result. But I tell you this, the how is not your concern. Your task is to focus solely on the end, on the feeling of your desire fulfilled. For example, let's say your desire is for a new home. Don't visualize the process of house hunting, securing a mortgage, or moving. Instead, create a scene that implies you are already living in your new home. Perhaps you are entertaining friends in your living room or waking up in your bedroom. The specific scene doesn't matter as long as it implies the fulfillment of your desire. Now here's where the real power of this technique comes into play. Once you have created your scene, you must enter into it fully. You must make it so real in your imagination that it takes on the tones of reality. You must see it, feel it, touch it, smell it, hear it. Use all your senses to make this imaginal scene as vivid and real as possible. But mere visualization is not enough. The key to this technique, the element that makes it unfailingly effective, is feeling. You must feel the reality of your imagined scene. You must generate within yourself the emotions you will experience, if your desire were already fulfilled. This feeling is the secret and the power of the entire operation. You see, my dear friends, in the realm of imagination, there is no distinction between what is real and what is imagined. Your subconscious mind, which is directly connected to the creative power of the universe, cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a physical. When you combine clear visualization with genuine, you are literally experiencing your desire in a realm that is more real, more fundamental than the physical world. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I've tried visual envision before, and it didn't work. To this I say, you have not truly visualized until you have felt the reality of your agency. Mere mental pictures are not enough. You must feel it to be real. You must generate within yourself the conviction that what you are imagining is not a future possibility, but a present fact. This is where most people falter in their attempts at manifestation. They treat their imaginal scenes as pleasant fantasy or hopeful daydreams. But I tell you this, your imaginal acts must be as real to you as any physical experience. In fact, they must be more real, for they are the cause and physical reality is merely the effect. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Many people, when they visualize wealth, see themselves counting money or looking at a bank statement with a large balance. But these are external symbols of wealth. They do not capture the feeling of being wealthy. Instead, I want you to imagine a scene that implies the feeling of financial abundance. Perhaps you're sitting in a beautiful restaurant ordering whatever you desire without a second thought about the cost. Or maybe you're calmly writing a large check for a charitable cause dear to your heart, knowing that you have more than enough. Feel the peace, the security, the joy that comes with true financial abundance. Let these feelings permeate your entire being. When you can do this, when you can make your imaginal scene so real that it elicits genuine emotion, you are set in motion forces that must, by the very nature of creation, bring your desire to physical manifestation. For you see, my friends, the outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. What you hold to be true in your imagination with feeling must externalize itself in your experience. Now I can sense that some of you are struggling with this concept. You're thinking, but Neville, how can my imagination change external circumstances? How can it affect other people or events beyond my control? And to this I say there are no external circumstances. There are no other people in the sense that you think of them. There is only consciousness, only imagination. This may seem like a radical statement, but I assure you it is the absolute truth. The entire universe, with all its seeming solidity and complexity, is nothing more than consciousness made visible. And your individual consciousness is not separate from the universal consciousness. It is one with it, a focal point of the infinite creative power that underlies all of existence. When you truly grasp this truth, when you internalize it and make it the foundation of your understanding, you will see that there are no limits to what you can achieve through the power of your imagination. For in reality, you are not changing external circumstances at all. You are simply shifting your consciousness. And in doing so, you shift the entire universe. Let's delve deeper into this concept, for it is crucial to understanding the full power of the technique I am sharing with you. Most people believe that their thoughts and feelings are a reaction to external circumstances. They believe that they feel happy because something good happened, or sad because something bad occurred. But I tell you this, your thoughts and feelings are not the effect of circumstances, they are the cause of them. Your consciousness is the only reality. The world you experience is nothing more than your consciousness pushed out. Every person, every object, every circumstance in your life is a reflection of your own mental states. This is why two people can experience the same external event in completely different ways. It's not the event itself that determines their experience, but their consciousness. Now, I know this may be difficult to accept at first. It flies in the face of everything you've been taught about the nature of reality. But I urge you to test this principle for yourself. For when you begin to live from this understanding, you will experience a freedom and a power beyond anything you've ever known. Let's return to our technique of visualization. When you create a scene implying the fulfillment of your desire, And when you enter into that scene with full sensory vividness and genuine feeling, you are literally rearranging the entire universe. You are shifting your consciousness, and in doing so, you are shifting the reflection that is your physical reality. This is why it's so crucial to persist in your imaginal act until it takes on the tones of reality. You must continue to return to your scene, to live in it and from it, until it feels more real to you than your current physical circumstances. This is not always easy. It requires discipline and persistence. But I assure you the results are well worth the effort. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action in this process. You may be thinking, surely, Neville, we must do something in the physical world to bring about our desires. And to this I say, inspired action will naturally flow from your shift in consciousness. When you have truly impressed your subconscious mind with the reality of desire fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally taking the right actions at the right time. But, and this is crucial, you must not force action from a place of lack or need. Any action taken from the belief that you need to make your desire happen is counterproductive. It stems from a lack of faith in the creative power of your imagination. Instead, allow action to arise naturally as a result of your new state of consciousness. Remember, the world is a shadow, a reflection of your inner world. When you change the inner, the outer must change to match you. This is not wishful thinking or magical thinking. It is the fundamental law of creation. It is how the universe itself operates. Now, let me address another question that often arises when I speak of this technique. Many people ask, how long will it take for my desire to manifest? And to this I say, time is an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of imagination, where all creation takes place, there is no time. Your desire is fulfilled the moment you feel the reality of its fulfillment in your imagination. The time it takes for your desire to appear in your physical appearance depends on many factors, including the naturalness of the desire, the intensity of your feeling, and your ability to persist in the assumption of its fulfillment. But know this, the moment you have succeeded in feeling the reality of desire fulfilled, its manifestation in the physical world is assured. This brings us to another crucial aspect of this technique, detachment. Once you have impressed your subconscious mind with the reality of your desire fulfilled, you must release it. You must let go of anxiety or urgency about its manifestation. For anxiety and urgency stem from a lack of faith, from the belief that your desire is not yet yours. Instead, lie from the calm assurance that what you have experienced in imagination is now a fact. Go about your daily life from this new state of consciousness. This doesn't mean you forget about your desire. Rather, you live from the state of its fulfillment, regardless of what your physical senses are telling you. This detachment is not indifference. It is supreme confidence. It is the knowing that what you have claimed in imagination is now yours in reality, and that its physical manifestation is merely a matter of time. This attitude of calm assurance is incredibly powerful. It aligns you with the creative forces of the universe and allows your desire to manifest with ease and grace. Now I want to address a common pitfall that many fall into when practicing this technique. They visualize their desire, they feel its reality, and then they look to the physical world for signs of its manifestation. When they don't see immediate results, they become discouraged and doubt the process. But I tell you this, do not judge by appearances. The physical world, being the shadow of consciousness, often takes time to reflect the changes in your imagination. Your task is to persist in the assumption of your desire fulfilled, regardless of what your physical senses are telling you. Remember, your senses show you the world as it was, not as it is becoming. This persistence in the face of contrary evidence is what separates those who succeed with this technique from those who fail. It requires faith, not blind faith, but faith born of understanding. Faith in the creative power of your own imagination. Faith that what you have experienced as real in your imagination must, by the very laws of creation, manifest in your physical reality. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Suppose you are using this technique to manifest a promotion at work. You create a scene implying you have already received the promotion. Perhaps you imagine yourself sitting in your new office or receiving congratulations from your colleagues. You enter fully into this scene, making it vivid and real in your imagination. You feel the joy, the pride, the sense of accomplishment that comes with this promotion. Now, having done this, you go to work the next day. Nothing seems to have changed. Your boss doesn't mention anything about a promotion. Your colleagues treat you the same as always. This is where many people falter. They allow the evidence of their physical senses to negate their imaginal experience. But the person who understands the true power of this technique does not waver. They continue to live from the assumption that the promotion is theirs. They interact with their boss and colleagues from this new state of consciousness. They perform their work with the confidence and authority of someone in their new position. They persist in this assumption, regardless of appearances, until the physical world reshapes itself to match their inner conviction. This, my dear friends, is the true test of your faith in this technique. Can you persist in the assumption of your desire fulfilled and all physical evidence that seems to contradict it? Can you remain loyal to your experience in the face of apparent failure or delay? If you can, then I assure you your success is guaranteed. For you see, this technique is not about forcing the world to bend to your will. It is about aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. It is about realizing that you are one with this power, that it flows, that is through you and as you. When you visualize this feeling, you are not sending out a request to some external force. You are awakening to the truth of who you really are, a creative force capable of shaping reality itself. Now let's delve even deeper into the mechanics of this technique. When you create your scene and enter into its full sensory vividness, you are doing something truly remarkable. You are literally creating a new memory. Your subconscious mind, which cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a physical one, accepts this new memory as fact. This is crucial because your subconscious mind is the part of you that is directly connected to the creative power of the universe. It is the part of you that shapes your reality according to your beliefs and assumptions. By impressing a new memory upon your subconscious, you are literally reprogramming the metrics of your reality. Think about this for a moment. Every experience you've ever had, every belief you hold, every assumption you make about the nature of reality, all of these are based on memories. They are based on past experiences that have shaped your understanding of what is possible and what is not. But what if you could create new memories? Memories of experiences you desire, but have not yet had it in the physical world. This is exactly what you're doing when you use this visualization technique correctly. You are creating a new memory of your desire fulfilled, and your subconscious mind, accepting this new memory as fact, begins to reshape your reality to match it. It influences your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and even the actions of others around you, all to bring about the manifestation of your imagined experience. This is why it's so important to make your imaginal scene as vivid and real as possible. The more real it feels, the more readily your subconscious mind will accept it as fact. And the more completely your subconscious accepts it, the more powerfully and rapidly it will work to bring it into physical manifestation. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what if I can't make my imaginal scene feel real? What if I struggle to generate feeling of my desire fulfilled? To this I say, practice. Like any skill, the ability to make your imaginal scenes feel real improves with practice. Start with small things. Visualize yourself enjoying a favorite meal or receiving good news. Practice feeling the reality of these simple scenes until it becomes second nature. As you become more adept at this, you can move on to larger desires. But remember, the size of the desire is irrelevant to the creative power of your imagination. In the realm of imagination, there is no distinction between big and small desires. All are equally possible, equally real. Another powerful aspect of this technique is repetition. While a single intensely real imagination can be enough to set the fields of manifestation in motion, repeated imaginal acts can be incredibly powerful. They serve to deepen your conviction, to make your new assumption feel more and more natural. But and this is crucial, your repetitions must not stem from a sense of lack or need. You're not repeating your imaginal act, because you're trying to make it happen. You're repeating it because it's enjoyable, because living from the state of your desire fulfilled is pleasurable in itself. Each repetition should deepen your feeling of naturalness, your sense that this is simply who you are and how your world is. Now let's address another important point. Some of you may be wondering about the ethics of this technique. You may be thinking, if I can manifest anything I desire, what's to stop me from using this power selfishly or to harm others? This is a profound question, and it speaks to the very nature of consciousness and creation. First, let me say this: true harm to another is impossible in the highest sense because there is no other in reality. We are all one consciousness, individualized into seemingly separate beings. What you do to another, you do to yourself. This understanding naturally leads to an ethical use of this creative power. Moreover, as you begin to use this technique and experience its results, you will find your desires naturally becoming more aligned with the highest good of all. For you will realize that your joy or fulfillment is not separate from the joy and fulfillment of others. You will find yourself naturally desiring and creating experiences that uplift and benefit not just yourself, but all of consciousness. This brings us to another crucial point: the importance of your state of being. You see, my dear friends, what you get is not always what you think you want, but always a perfect reflection of your state of being. This is why it's so important to focus on the feeling of your desire fulfilled rather than on the external symbols of circumstances. For example, if you think you want wealth because you believe it will make you feel secure and free, focus on the feeling of security and freedom rather than on specific amounts of money. For it's entirely possible to have great wealth and still feel insecure and constrained. Conversely, it's possible to feel deeply secure and free with modest means. By focusing on the state of being you desire, you open yourself to countless ways in which the universe can deliver that state to you. This understanding also helps to dissolve any sense of conflict or competition in your manifestations. You're not trying to get something at the expense of someone else. You're simply aligning yourself with the state of being you desire and allowing the infinite creativity of the universe to bring it in a way that serves the highest good of all. Now, as we near the end of our time together, I want to touch on one final crucial point. This technique, powerful as it is not merely a tool for getting things or achieving specific goals. It is in its deepest sense a path to self-realization. For as you practice this technique, as you experience its results, you come to a profound realization you are the creator of your reality. This realization is nothing less than an awakening to your true nature. You begin to understand that you are not a limited physical being subject to the whims of an external world. You are consciousness itself, the very substance and source of all that is. The world you experience is your consciousness made visible. As this understanding deepens, you may find your desires changing. The things you once thought would bring you fulfillment may lose their appeal. Instead, you may find yourself drawn to experiences that expand your consciousness, that allow you to express more and more of your true divine nature. This, my dear friends, is the ultimate purpose of this technique. Yes, it can bring you the things you desire in the physical world. But more importantly, it can lead you to the realization of who you truly are. It can awaken you to your own divine nature, to the limitless creative power that is your birthright. So as you go forth from here, as you begin to apply this technique in your own life, remember this: you are not merely seeking to change your circumstances. You are embarking on a journey of self-discovery. You are uncovering the truth of your own being. And in doing so, you are fulfilling the very purpose of creation itself. This is the entire universe, with all its infinite diversity and complexity, is consciousness exploring itself, experiencing itself in endless variety as a form and expression. And you in your individual life are the universe doing exactly that. Your desires, your imaginal acts, your experiences, all are the universe coming to know itself through you. As you use this technique, as you create and live from the state of your desires fulfilled, you are participating consciously in this grand adventure of creation. You are aligning yourself with the very purpose of existence. And in doing so, you open yourself to experiences of joy, fulfillment, one wonder beyond anything you may have previously imagined. So go forth, my beloved friends, and create. Use this technique with confidence and joy. Know that as you do so, you are not just changing your individual circumstances, but participating in the evolution of consciousness itself. You are fulfilling your divine purpose, expressing the infinite creative power that is your true nature. Remember always, your imagination is the God power within you. It is the creative force that shapes worlds. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and use it often. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but you contribute to the transformation of all of creation. And know this, as you embark on this journey, as you begin to live from the power of your imagination, you are never alone. The entire universe supports you in your creative endeavors. For your success, your joy, your fulfillment is the success, joy, and fulfillment of life itself. So visualize boldly, feel deeply, and persist faithfully. For as you do, align yourself with the very power that creates worlds. And that alignment, all things become possible. You become the conscious author of your life, the deliberate creator of your reality. This, my dear friends, is your birthright. This is your true nature. Claim it, live from it. And watch in wonder as your world transforms to match the beauty and power of your own divine imagination. Thank you. And may your journey of conscious creation be filled with joy, wonder, and the deep satisfaction of expressing your true divine nature. Remember always, you are the operant power in your world. You are the God power made manifest. Live from this truth, and all that you desire must come to pass. For such is the law of creation, and such is the power of your own wonderful human imagination.
Ladies and gentlemen, our focus today is focus on you. People come and go. This simple phrase holds within it the key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within each and every one of you. Let us begin by understanding what it truly means to focus on yourself. In the world of appearances, it may seem selfish or egotistical to direct your attention inward. But I tell you, it is the most divine and necessary act you can perform. You see, you are not merely the physical body you inhabit, or the personality you present to the world. You are, in essence, pure consciousness, the very substance of God Himself. When you focus on yourself, you are not focusing on the limited mortal self that is subject to the whims of the external world. No. You are directing your attention to the infinite immortal self that is one with the creative power of the universe. This self is the I Am, the eternal presence that exists beyond time and space. Now, you may ask, but Neville, what about the people in our lives? Are we to ignore them? And to this, I say, people come and go in the world of Caesar, but in the realm of imagination, you are the author of all relationships. Every person in your life is but a reflection of your own consciousness, playing a role in the grand drama of your creation. There's no one to change but self. As you focus on yourself, as you cultivate your imagination and align it with your desires, the world around you, including the people in it, must conform to your new concept of self. It is law. Consider for a moment the story of the prodigal son. He left his father's house, wandering in search of fulfillment in the external world. But it was only when he remembered who he truly was, when he focused on his true identity as the beloved son, that he was able to return home and claim his inheritance. You, my dear friends, are on a similar journey. You have wandered in the world of effects, seeking validation and fulfillment from others. But I tell you, the kingdom is within you. As you turn your attention inward, as you focus on the divine self within, you will find that all you have ever sought is already yours. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of this focus. When I speak of focusing on yourself, I'm not referring to mere positive thinking or affirmations. I'm speaking of a profound shift in consciousness, a complete reorientation of your entire being towards your desired state. This focus is achieved through the power of imagination. For imagination is not a flight of fancy or idle daydreaming. It is the very substance of reality, the creative power of God in action. When you imagine, you are literally molding the substance of the universe according to your will. As you focus on yourself, you must learn to see yourself as you wish to be, not as you currently appear to be. This is the art of revision, of rewriting your past and present to align with your desired future. For time is merely a concept in the world of Caesar. In the realm of imagination, all is now. Imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. See yourself embodying the qualities you admire, living the life you desire. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of being this version of yourself. This is not mere visualization. This is the act of entering into the state of the wish fulfillment. As you persist in this state, as you continually focus on this ideal version of yourself, you will find that your external world begins to shift. People and circumstances will rearrange themselves to match your new concept of self. Some may leave your life, while new individuals who resonate with your new state will enter. Remember, people come and go, but you, the operant power, remain constant. You are the unchanging awareness upon which all change takes place. As you focus on yourself, on your true identity as pure consciousness, you become unshakable, unmoved by the comings and goings of the external world. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I have tried to focus on myself, to imagine a better life, and yet nothing has changed. To this I sigh. Persistence is key. You must persist in the assumption that you are already the person you wish to be, that you already have what you desire. Consider the biblical story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho. For 6 days, Joshua and his army marched around the city walls, seemingly to no effect. But on the 7th day, as they persisted in their march and sounded their trumpets, the walls came tumbling down. Your desired state, your ideal self, is Jericho. The walls that seem to separate you from it are merely illusions created by your current concept of self. As you persist in your new assumption, as you continue to focus on your ideal self, these walls will inevitably crumble. But remember, the feeling is the secret. It is not enough to merely visualize or affirm your desired state. You must feel the naturalness of being in that state. You must embody the emotions, the sensations, the inner conviction of already being the person you wish to be. As you cultivate this feeling, as you make it more and more real to yourself, you will find that the external world has no choice but to conform. For the outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner state of consciousness. Now, let us address the second part of our topic. People come and go. This statement holds within it a profound truth about the nature of reality and your role as the creator of your experience. In the world of Caesar, relationships appear to be external to us. We believe that people enter and leave our lives based on circumstances beyond our control. But I tell you, this is an illusion. Every person in your life is there because you have called them forth through your consciousness. You are the author of your life story, and every character in it is playing a role that you have assigned. Some are there to challenge you, to push you towards growth. Others are there to support and nurture you. Some may stay for a lifetime, while others may be present for just a moment. But understand this, no one has the power to enter or leave your life without your consent. Your consent may not be conscious in the world of Caesar, but at the level of your true self, your divine imagination, you are always in control. As you focus on yourself, as you shift your concept of self, you will naturally attract people who resonate with your new state. Those who no longer align with your new consciousness may fall away. This is not a loss, but a natural consequence of your growth and evolution. Think of yourself as a radio. As you tune to a new frequency, a new station, you naturally lose reception of the old station. The old station hasn't ceased to exist. You have simply tuned to a different broadcast. Similarly, as you tune your consciousness to a new state, you naturally attract experiences and people that match that frequency. This understanding liberates you from the fear of loss or abandonment. For you realize that you are never truly losing anyone. You are simply shifting your focus, tuning to a new station that better aligns with your desired state of being. Moreover, this knowledge empowers you to consciously create the relationships you desire. Instead of seeking validation or fulfillment from others, you recognize that all relationships are reflections of your relationship with yourself. As you focus on cultivating the qualities you wish to experience in your relationships within yourself, you will naturally attract individuals who embody these qualities. For instance, if you desire a loving partnership, focus on embodying love yourself. Feel the love you wish to receive. Imagine yourself in the state of being deeply loved and appreciated. As you persist in this state, you will find that either your current relationships transform to match this new vibration, or new relationships that embody this love will enter your life. Remember, the external world is dead. It has no power to create or to destroy. All power lies within you, within your consciousness. People do not come and go of their own accord. They enter and exit the stage of your life in perfect accordance with your beliefs and assumptions. This understanding frees you from the need to manipulate or control others. You no longer need to chase after people or cling to relationships out of fear. Instead, you focus on cultivating your ideal state of being, knowing that the right people and circumstances will naturally align with this state. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what about free will? Don't others have the power to choose whether they want to be in our lives? To this I say, there's only one consciousness, one God, one I am. What appears as separate individuals are merely different aspects of this one consciousness, playing different roles in the grand drama of life. Your job is not to control the actions of others, but to control your own imagination, your own assumptions. As you do this, you will find that others naturally play the roles that align with your assumption. This is not a violation of their free will, but a harmonious dance of consciousness where all parts play their perfect role in the unfolding of your creation. Let us delve deeper into this concept of focusing on yourself, while understanding that people come and go. Imagine, if you will, that you are the director of a grand play. This play is your life, and you are not only the director, but also the lead actor. Every other character in this play, every person you encounter is there to serve the story you are telling. As the director, you have the power to rewrite the script at any moment. You can change the setting, alter the dialogue, and even replace the supporting cast. This is the essence of focusing on yourself. You are not at the mercy of the script or the other actors. You are the creator, the author of your own experience. When you truly grasp this truth, you will no longer be swayed by the comings and goings of others. You will understand that each person who enters your life is there to play a specific role in your unfolding story. Some may have leading roles that span much of your life's journey, while others may have brief cameo appearances. But all are there by your invitation, summoned by your consciousness to play their part. Now you may ask, but Neville, how can I control who enters and exits my life? The answer lies not in trying to manipulate external circumstances, but in changing your own state of consciousness. As you focus on embodying your desired state of being, you will naturally attract people and circumstances that align with this state. Consider the biblical story of Joseph. When he was sold into slavery by his brothers, he could have focused on resentment and victimhood. Instead, he focused on embodying leadership and wisdom. As a result, he rose to become the second most powerful man in Egypt. And even his brothers, who had wronged him, came to serve him. This story illustrates a profound truth. Your external circumstances, including the people in your life, are a reflection of your inner state. As you focus on cultivating the qualities and experiences you desire within yourself, your outer world will rearrange itself to match this inner reality. But remember, this is not about forcing change or trying to control others. It is about aligning yourself with the state of consciousness that naturally attracts your desires. It is about becoming the person who would naturally experience what you wish to experience. Let us take a moment to practice this principle. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. See yourself embodying the qualities you admire. Feel the joy, the confidence, the peace that comes with being this version of yourself. Now, from this state, imagine the kind of people who would naturally be in your life. Don't try to force specific individuals into this vision. Simply feel the quality of relationships that would naturally align with this version of you. As you open your eyes, carry this feeling with you. Let it inform your interactions, your decisions, your very way of being in the world. As you persist in this state, you will find that your relationships begin to shift. Some people may fall away, while new individuals who resonate with your new state will enter your life. This is the natural ebb and flow of relationships when you are focused on your own growth and evolution. It is not something to fear or resist, but to embrace as part of your journey of self-realization. Now, let us address a common concern that arises when we speak of focusing on oneself. Some may worry that this approach is selfish or that it neglects the needs of others. But I tell you, there is no greater gift you can give to the world than to fully realize your own divine nature. As you focus on cultivating your highest self, you become a beacon of light for others. You inspire by your very being. You lift others up not through effort or sacrifice, but through the natural radiance of your realized self. Moreover, as you focus on yourself, you come to understand that there is no others to neglect. All is one. The person you see is separate from you, but another aspect of the one consciousness that you are is you elevate your own consciousness. You elevate the consciousness of all. I and my Father are one. This is not a statement of egotism, but a recognition of the fundamental unity of all existence. As you focus on realizing this truth within yourself, you naturally extend love and compassion to all beings, for you recognize them as part of yourself. This understanding transforms your relationships. You no longer seek to get something from others or to change them. Instead, you see each person as a perfect expression of the divine, playing their role in the grand tapestry of existence. You love them not for what they can give you, but for what they are, unique expressions of the one consciousness that you all share. From this place of self-realization and unity consciousness, the coming and going of people in your life takes on a new meaning. You understand that each encounter, each relationship is a divine appointment, orchestrated by your own consciousness for your growth and evolution. Some people may enter your life to challenge you, to push you towards greater self-awareness. Others may come to support and nurture you on your journey. Some may stay for a lifetime, while others may be present for just a moment. But all are perfect. All are necessary. All are you in different guises. As you focus on yourself, on realizing your true nature is pure consciousness, you become like a mighty oak tree. Your roots grow deep into the soil of being, unshaken by the winds of circumstance. People may come and go like leaves on your branches, but you remain steadfast, ever growing. This state of being is your birthright. It is the truth of who you are. As you align with this truth, as you focus on embodying it in every moment, you will find that your life transforms in ways you may have never imagined possible. But remember, this transformation does not happen overnight. It requires persistence, faith, and above all, the willingness to see yourself as you truly are, not as the limited mortal self, but as the infinite, immortal consciousness that is one with God. In your daily life, practice seeing beyond appearances. When you encounter another person, whether they are playing a positive or challenging role in your life, silently acknowledge the divine within them. See them not as separate from you, but as another aspect of the one consciousness that you are. As you do this, you will find that your relationships take on a new depth and meaning. You will no longer be swayed by the opinions or actions of others, for you will recognize that all as you pushed out, every person, every circumstance, is a reflection of your own consciousness. This understanding gives you tremendous power. For if all is you pushed out, then by changing yourself, you change your entire world. This is the essence of focusing on yourself. It is not about ignoring others or becoming self-absorbed. It's about recognizing that the key to transforming your life and your relationships lies within you. As you focus on embodying your higher self, as you align with the truth of your being, you will find that the right people naturally gravitate towards you. Those who resonate with your new vibration will enter your life, while those who no longer align with your energy may fall away. This process is natural and necessary. It is the universe, which is none other than your own expanded self, reorganizing itself to match your new state of consciousness. Trust in this process. Know that everyone who enters or exits your life is doing so in perfect divine timing, serving the highest good of all involved. Now let's explore how this understanding can be applied to specific areas of your life. In your romantic relationships, for instance, instead of seeking the perfect partner outside of yourself, focus on embodying the qualities you desire in a relationship. Feel the love, the joy, the companionship you wish to experience. As you persist in this state, you will find that either your current relationship transforms to match this new vibration, or if you're single, the right partner who embodies these qualities will naturally be drawn into your life. Remember, your outer world must conform to your inner assumptions. It is law in your professional life. Instead of striving to impress others or seeking validation from colleagues or superiors, focus on embodying the qualities of success and excellence within yourself. Feel the satisfaction of doing work you love, of being recognized for your contributions, of achieving your goals. As you persist in this state, you will find that opportunities naturally arise that align with your new self-concept. The right people, mentors, collaborators, clients will be drawn to you, recognizing the unique value you bring. In your friendships, instead of trying to fit in or seeking approval from others, focus on being true to yourself. Embody the qualities of authenticity, loyalty, and genuine connection that you wish to experience in your relationships. As you do this, you will find that your social circle naturally evolves. Those who resonate with your authentic self will be drawn closer, while relationships based on superficial connections may fall away. This is not a loss, but a realignment that allows for deeper, more meaningful connections in all areas of your life. Remember that your focus determines your reality. Where you place your attention, your energy flows by focusing on yourself, not the limited self of the ego, but your true self as pure consciousness. You align with the creative power of the universe.
When I speak of focusing on you, I am not speaking of the outer personality that the world recognizes. No, I speak of the true self, that divine imaginative center which is God in action. I am is the name of God, and when you declare I am, you are invoking the creative power of the universe. So when I urge you to focus on you until you win, I am directing you to the recognition of your divine nature, which is limitless in its capacity to create. Let me share with you a profound secret. The world you experience is nothing more than your consciousness objectified. Everything that surrounds you at this very moment, your circumstances, your relationships, your physical environment, all of it has been projected from within you. Nothing comes from without. All proceeds from within. Therefore, to change your world, you must first change your conception of yourself. This is the essence of what it means to focus on you. Most people live their entire lives never recognizing this fundamental truth. They attribute their successes and failures to external causes, to other people, to economic conditions, to chance, to anything and everything but themselves. They fail to realize that they are the architects of their own destiny, that their imagination is the magic wand of creation. But you, having heard this message tonight, can no longer claim ignorance of this law. You now stand at the threshold of a new understanding, a new way of being in the world. Consider for a moment how you have been focusing until now. Have you been concentrating on what you lack, on your limitations, on the obstacles that appear to stand in your way? If so, you have been perpetuating these very conditions in your life. For whatever dominates your mental focus will inevitably manifest in your experience. This is not a punishment, but simply the impersonal working of law. Like attracts like, and your consciousness attracts its own. To focus on you until you win means to persistently hold in your imagination the ideal conception of yourself, not as you appear to be now, but as you desire to be. It means to dwell mentally in the end, in the fulfilled state of your desire, feeling the naturalness of it, the reality of it, until this state displaces your former conception and becomes your dominant feeling. Let me illustrate this principle with a simple exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself as having already attained your heart's desire. Whatever it may be, perfect health, financial abundance, a loving relationship, professional success. See yourself now in possession of it. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the gratitude that would be yours if this desire were already fulfilled. Make this scene as vivid and as real as possible. Involve all your senses. If a beautiful home you desire, feel yourself moving through its rooms, touching its surfaces, hearing the sounds within it. If it's perfect health, feel the vitality coursing through your body, the ease of movement, the absence of pain. Now the secret is to persist in this feeling, this consciousness of fulfillment, regardless of any contradictory evidence presented by your senses. For your senses can only report the effects of past beliefs. They cannot detect the invisible causes now at work through your changed consciousness. This is why Scripture tells us, judge not according to appearances, but judge righteous judgment. To judge righteously means to be faithful to your assumption, to your new conception of yourself, despite what present facts may suggest. This is the true meaning of faith, not a blind belief in some external power, but an unwavering loyalty to your own divine imagination. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your imagination gives substance to your hopes by clothing them in the reality of feeling. And when you feel the reality of your desire fulfilled, you have the evidence, though it remains as yet unseen by mortal eyes. The great mistake made by so many is that they focus on the processes, the channels through which their good might come, rather than on the state of consciousness they wish to attain. They ask how when they should be declaring what. The how is not your concern. It belongs to that infinite intelligence which knows all and can accomplish all. Your task is simply to determine the what, the state of consciousness you wish to occupy, and then to occupy it faithfully in your imagination. People often ask me, but Neville, how long must I persist? How will I know when my assumption has been accepted by my subconscious? And I tell them this, the feeling of naturalness is the criterion. When your desired state feels more natural to you than your former state, when you can dwell in it without effort or strain, when it no longer seems like a wish but simply the way things are, then you may know that your assumption has been impressed upon the subconscious and must inevitably objectify itself in your world. Remember, the time it takes for your assumption to become an objective fact depends on the naturalness of your feeling and the intensity of your concentration. Some desires manifest instantly, while others require a period of gestation. But do not be concerned with time. Time is merely a perception in the world of effects. It has no reality in the world of causes, which is the world of your consciousness. 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it is past, and as a watch in the night. To focus on you until you win means to be persistent in your assumption. It means to live mentally in your desired state day after day, night after night, until the feeling of wish fulfilled becomes your predominant mood. This is not a matter of willpower or struggle. It is a matter of attention and feeling. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. And what you energize with feeling must become concrete reality. Consider the biblical story of Jacob wrestling with the angel. I will not let thee go, except thou bless me, declared Jacob. This is the attitude you must adopt toward your assumption. You must cling to it tenaciously, refusing to relinquish it until it blesses you with its manifestation. This is not stubborn defiance of present facts, but rather faithful adherence to a higher reality, the reality of your imagination. Now let me clarify something of great importance. When I speak of focusing on you, I am not advocating selfishness in the ordinary sense. The you of which I speak is not the personal ego with its petty desires and vanities. It is the divine self, which is one with all of humanity. And when you elevate your consciousness, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you elevate all of humanity with you. For we are all connected, we are all one in consciousness. I am in my Father, and ye in me, and I in you. The greatest service you can render to others is to assume the feeling of your own fulfilled desires. For in doing so, you contribute to the fulfillment of the divine plan, which is the awakening of God in man. You cannot truly help another while you yourself remain in a state of lack or limitation. Only by first attaining your own fulfillment can you become a true channel for the fulfillment of others. I recall a lady who attended my lecture some years ago. She was deeply concerned about her son, who had fallen into bad company and was engaging in destructive behaviors. She had tried everything to reform him, reasoning, pleading, threatening, all to no avail. I instructed her to cease her efforts to change her son's outer conduct and instead to change her conception of him. I told her to imagine just before falling asleep at night that her son was telling her of his happiness, his well-being, his constructive activities. She was to hear his voice clearly, feel the joy of this conversation, and then fall asleep in this happy state. She followed this instruction faithfully for several weeks. At first, nothing seemed to change. Her son continued in his old ways, perhaps even becoming temporarily worse. But she persisted in her assumption, refusing to be discouraged by appearances. And then one day, without any direct intervention on her part, her son announced that he was breaking ties with his former associates and had secured employment in another city. Within a month, he had completely transformed his life, exactly as his mother had imagined. You see, she had focused on herself, on her own consciousness, until she won. She did not try to manipulate her son or force him to change. She simply changed herself, changed her conception, and her outer world conformed to this inner change. This is the law, and it never fails. Let me now address a question that often arises: what of obstacles? What of opposition? What are the apparent failures that we sometimes experience despite our best efforts at constructive imagination? My answer is this: there are no obstacles, no opposition, no failures except those that exist in your own consciousness. I, even I, am he that blotted out thy transgressions for mine own sake. All apparent obstacles are opportunities for you to prove the power of your imagination, to demonstrate your faith in the reality of your assumption. When confronted with an apparent obstacle, do not fight it or try to overcome it by physical means. Instead, revise the event mentally. See it not as an obstacle, but as an aid to the fulfillment of your desire. And then continue in your assumption as if the obstacle had never existed. Remember, all things work together for good to them that love God. And to love God is to dwell faithfully in your assumption of the fulfilled wish. I recall a gentleman who was seeking a promotion in his company, a promotion that seemed impossible because there were several others with seniority who were in line before him. Instead of competing with these others or trying to impress his superiors, he simply assumed that the promotion was his. Night after night, he fell asleep feeling the satisfaction of occupying the new position. He imagined congratulatory handshakes, the increased income, the new responsibilities, all as vivid realities in his consciousness. Within a month, an entirely unforeseen reorganization of the company took place. 2 of the men ahead of him were transferred to different departments, another resigned to accept a position elsewhere, and the 4th was promoted to an even higher position than the one our friend desired. And so, without any manipulation on his part, without any outer effort, he found himself promoted to the very position he had been imagining. The seemingly impossible had become the actual through the persistent focus of his imagination. To focus on you until you win means to be faithful to your assumption regardless of all contradictory evidence. It means to live in the awareness that your consciousness is the one and only reality, that all else is derived from it. It means to know with absolute conviction that the world must conform to your assumption, for your assumption is God in action, and the word of God will not return unto him void. Many fail in this art of assumption because they do not fully understand the nature of consciousness. They think of consciousness as something apart from reality, as a subjective state having no relation to the objective world. But I tell you that consciousness is the only reality. It is first cause, the hidden source of all. Objective reality is just a shadow, an external reflection of an internal state. To focus on you until you win means to focus on consciousness, on the being that you truly are. It means to recognize that you are not a body or a mind, but pure awareness, pure I amness. And this I am can assume any state whatsoever. I am the door. Through this door of assumption, you may enter any conceptual world you desire. Consider this right now. In this very moment, you can declare I am successful or I am a failure, and either statement, if persisted in, will objectify itself in your experience. The choice is always yours. You are free to assume any state, and having assumed it, to watch it unfold in the world of effects. This is the creative power that is yours by divine right, the power that was yours before the world was. But remember, this power operates through feeling, not through intellectual concepts alone. It is not enough to say the words I am wealthy or I am healthy if these words are contradicted by your feeling. Your feeling is your faith, and according to your faith is it done unto you. Therefore, you must feel the reality of your feel assumption until this feeling displaces all contrary evidence. Many years ago, a young woman came to me in great distress. She was deeply in debt. Her health was failing, and her personal relationships were in shambles. She felt herself to be a victim of circumstances buffeted by forces beyond her control. I told her that her only problem was her own self-concept, her own persistent focus on limitation and lack. I instructed her to construct a simple scene that would imply the fulfillment of all her desires. A scene in which a friend was congratulating her on her wonderful life, her perfect health, her abundance, her loving relationships. She was to replay this scene in her imagination every night just before sleep, feeling its reality, accepting it as a fact already accomplished. She was skeptical at first, but desperate enough to try anything. And so she began this practice tentatively at first, then with growing conviction as she began to experience a sense of relief and sense of mental exercise. Within 3 months, her entire life had transformed. A relative she barely knew had died, leaving her a substantial inheritance. Her health had improved dramatically for no apparent medical reason, and her personal relationships had harmonized without any direct effort on her part. The outer circumstances of her life had rearranged themselves to reflect her changed consciousness. She had focused on herself, on her consciousness, until she won. Now let me address a common misunderstanding. Many people believe that to focus on oneself is somehow spiritually incorrect, that it represents a form of selfishness or egocentricity. Nothing could be further from the truth. To focus on your true self is the highest spiritual practice, for your true self is God. The kingdom of God is within you. By entering this kingdom, the kingdom of your own consciousness, and establishing there the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are literally entering the kingdom of heaven. Scripture tells us, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. The kingdom is your consciousness, and righteousness is the feeling of already being what you desire to be. Seek this feeling first, establish it, maintain it, live in it, and all outer things must come to you by law. I want you to understand the immense power that is yours. There is no limit to what you can achieve through the proper use of your imagination. But you must be willing to disentangle yourself from appearances, to disregard the evidence of your senses when it contradicts your assumption. This requires mental discipline. Yes, but it is a discipline that leads to freedom, not bondage. Each day, set aside some time to focus on you, on the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. Make it a sacred practice, as important as eating or sleeping. Enter your room, close the door, and commune with your Father in secret. Your Father is your own wonderful human imagination, and he responds to your assumption by objectifying it in your world. And thy Father which sitteth in secret shall reward thee openly. Do not be discouraged if results are not immediately apparent. Remember that there is often a gestation period between the conception of a desiring consciousness and its birth in the world of form. The seed has been planted. Now allow it time to grow. Water it daily with a feeling of fulfillment, protect it from the weeds of doubt and disbelief, and it must come to harvest in its appointed hour. I am often asked, But what if my desire affects other people? Can I use my imagination to influence another's behavior? And I answer, you are not influencing others. You are creating others by your conception of them. Everyone in your world is yourself pushed out. They reflect back to you your own states of consciousness. Therefore, to change others, change yourself, change your conception of them, and they must change to reflect this new conception. Scripture tells us, no man can come to me, except the Father which hath sent me draw him. The Father is your I am, your consciousness, and no one can come into your world. No situation can confront you that is not drawn by your conception. You are perpetually attracting conditions that correspond to your dominant mental states. Change these states, and you change your world. Perhaps the most common obstacle to successful manifestation is the tendency to dwell on means rather than ends. People become so concerned with how their desires will be fulfilled that they lose sight of the desired end itself. But the law operates on ends, not on means. Your business is with the end only, the feeling of fulfillment, and infinite intelligence will provide the means. Consider the biblical injunction, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. This is not advocating irresponsibility, but rather a shift in focus from means to ends. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and the means of fulfillment will be attracted by that assumption through channels you cannot now conceive. When you focus on you until you win, you are focusing on the creative center of your being. You are aligning yourself with the source of all power. And from this center, all things are possible. All things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive. Prayer is not begging or pleading, but the feeling of already having what you desire. It is communion with your deeper self, with the God within. I know from experience that this law works. I have tested it countless times in my own life and have witnessed its operation in the lives of thousands who have applied it. It is as exact as mathematics, as certain as sunrise. It never fails when properly applied. If there appears to be failure, it is only because the law has not been properly understood or faithfully practiced. Let me give you a specific technique that I have found particularly effective. I call it sleeping in the assumption. Just before you fall asleep at night, construct a brief scene that would imply the fulfillment of your desire. Make this scene as concrete and as specific as possible. Then enter into it mentally, participating fully, involving all your senses. Feel the reality of it, the naturalness of it. And then, still dwelling in this scene, allow yourself to drift off to sleep. In this drowsy, receptive state, your subconscious mind is most amenable to suggestion. The seed of your assumption planted in these fertile moments will grow and flourish beneath the threshold of consciousness, eventually emerging as objective fact. This is why Scripture tells us he giveth unto his beloved in sleep. Sleep in this context is not just physical slumber, but the complete surrender of consciousness to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. A word of caution here. Do not discuss your inner work with others, especially those of negative or skeptical temperament. Keep your own counsel. Cast not your pearls before swine, as the Bible advises. The precious pearl of your assumption, still in its formative stage, can be damaged or destroyed by the doubt and disbelief of others. Wait until your manifestation is complete before sharing it with the world. Now, some of you may be thinking this all sounds well and good, but what of morality? What if my desires are selfish or harmful to others? Let me address this concern directly. The law itself is neither moral nor immoral. It is simply the way creation occurs. However, there is a built-in safeguard that prevents truly harmful desires from manifesting. The fact that you must live in the consciousness of your assumption. If your desire is genuinely harmful to others, you cannot truly feel the peace, the joy, the fulfillment that accompanies the consciousness of a worthy desire. You will feel conflict, discomfort, guilt. And these contradictory feelings will prevent the clear impression of your desire upon the subconscious. Therefore, the desire cannot manifest in its entirety, or if it does, will bring with it conditions that nullify its enjoyment. The solution is not to suppress your desires, but to elevate them to align them with your higher nature. As you grow in spiritual understanding, you will naturally desire those things that contribute to the welfare of all, for you will recognize that all are one with you. Love thy neighbor as thyself becomes not just a moral injunction, but a recognition of metaphysical fact. To focus on you until you win is to focus on the God within you, the only power that can truly fulfill your desires. It is to recognize that I and my Father are one, that the creative power of the universe is not separate from you, but is your very essence. When you pray, therefore, do not pray to an external God, but to your Father who is in secret, your own wonderful human imagination. I want you to leave here tonight with a new understanding of your creative power, a new recognition of your divine nature. I want you to know beyond all doubt that you can be and have and do whatever you can conceive and believe. The only limits to your manifestations are those you accept in consciousness. According to your faith is it done unto you. Begin tonight to focus on you, on the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, and persist in this focus until your desire becomes objective fact. Do not waver, do not doubt, do not be discouraged by appearances. Remember that manifestation has its own appointed hour, and your task is simply to remain faithful to your assumption until that hour strikes. In your daily life, whenever negative thoughts or contradictory circumstances arise, do not fight them or try to change them directly. Instead, return to your assumption, to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Dwell there, abide there, live mentally, until the outer conforms to the inner. This is what Jesus meant when he said, "In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." The I that has overcome the world is your own I am, properly directed in assumptive faith. There is an ancient mystical axiom that states, as above, so below, as within, so without. Your inner world of consciousness is the above. The cause, your outer world of experience, is the below, the effect. Whatever you establish in consciousness must objectify itself in your world. This is the law, and it cannot be broken or set aside. Therefore, guard well your assumptions, for they are the seeds of your future experiences. Remember also that you are always assuming something. Every moment of your waking life, you are entertaining some concept of yourself and your world. Most of these concepts are habitual, unconscious, based on past experiences and conditioned beliefs. But you have the power to choose your assumptions consciously, to decide deliberately what you will accept as true. And in this choice lies your freedom. To focus on you until you win is to exercise this freedom of assumption. It is to select consciously the state of consciousness you wish to occupy, and then to occupy it faithfully, regardless of any contradiction presented by the senses. It is to know that consciousness is the only reality, and that the world of form is but its obedient servant. I invite you to test this principle in your own life. Start with something simple, something you can accept without too much strain. Assume the feeling of its fulfillment, dwell in that feeling, fall asleep in that feeling. Watch how your outer world rearranges itself to match your inner conviction. Then, as your faith grows through experience, apply this same principle to greater and greater desires. Remember that you are not trying to make something happen by force of will or physical effort. You are simply establishing a new state of consciousness, a new concept of yourself, and allowing the law to operate on its own. Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. The Spirit is your consciousness, your I am, and it accomplishes all through the law of assumption. I want to share with you one final thought, a thought that encapsulates the essence of what I have been saying tonight. It is this: you are not a helpless bit of flotsam tossed about by the waves of circumstance. You are the operant power, the prime mover of your universe. Your consciousness is God in action, and it shapes all that you experience. Therefore, focus on you, on the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, until you win. Make this your daily practice, your moment-by-moment awareness. Live mentally in the end, in the consciousness of the desire already fulfilled, and watch in joy and gratitude as the outer circumstances of your life reshape themselves to reflect this inner change. For this is the promise: behold, I make all things new. And the eye that makes all things new is your own wonderful human imagination, your own I am, properly focused in the consciousness of the wish fulfilled. Focus on you until you win, and you cannot fail, for the law is certain and its operation exact. Remember these words from Scripture. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind is your consciousness, and it is renewed when you shift from the consciousness of lack to the consciousness of fulfillment, from the consciousness of limitation to the consciousness of boundless possibility. Begin now this very night to focus on you, on your consciousness, on your I am, and imbue it with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Persist in this focus day after day, night after night, until your desire becomes objective fact, for it must do so by law. And when it does, you will know from experience the truth of that ancient promise. All things are possible to him that believeth. Believe in the reality of your assumption, trust in the law that brings it to pass, and rest in the certainty of its fulfillment. This is what it means to focus on you. This is the great secret revealed to those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. Apply it faithfully, and your life will become a testament to its truth and power. I leave you now with these words. You are divine beings, sons and daughters of the Most High. The creative power of the universe resides within you, waiting to be directed by your assumption. Direct it wisely, focus it consistently on the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, and watch in wonders your world transforms to reflect your transformed consciousness. For such is the law, and such is the promise to all who understand and apply it. Focus on you until you win. Focus on the consciousness of the wish fulfilled until it externalizes itself in your world. This is the royal road to fulfillment, the direct path to the realization of your heart's desire. Walk this path with confidence, with faith, with persistence, and all that you seek shall be added unto you. This is the promise. This is the law. This is the truth that sets you free.